God almighty. Here I am! Getting my alive on the fight, John Fury!
John Fury won a handful of fights 30, 40 years ago. The annoying thing, isn't it? It's not annoying, but there have been plenty of times where I've sat down with John Fury and talked about his life, the life of his children, being away from his children. He was in prison for a period of time and he used to watch the fights on the telly or the wireless. I have had some really great chats with John Fury, and I'm sure the other boxing reporters have as well. So there is loads of knowledge and valued opinion in there, but that doesn't tend to sell very well. If he says all those heartfelt things to me, I might get him 12 pars down the side of a big Tyson Fury page. Whereas if he does a crazy video where he says he's going to beat Carl Froch up, I don't know how many people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, people are going to tune in and start listening to it and sharing it and making memes. The fight will not happen. If it were to happen, Carl Froch would knock John Fury out with the first punch he decided to throw. Because I think unlike a genius like Floyd Mayweather, who does these YouTube fights and influencer fights, he understands the value of letting them go a little while longer, whether he's betting on them or just keeping alive the idea of a rematch or making the next one. You know, I've got no doubt in my mind he could have knocked Conor McGregor out in the first round. He chose not to, and it's clever. He could even rematch McGregor. People still care. Whereas Carl Froch, I would imagine if he boxes anyone now or 10 years ago at his peak, would walk across the ring and do his best to knock him spark out. So it's not a competition. It will never be sanctioned. It will be unlicensed. It will be an exhibition, but I don't think there'd be enough money or interest to actually make it happen. Well, since Carl Froch doesn't have exclusive broadcast deals with DAZN and Sky Sports anymore, he runs his own YouTube channel, which looks like it's really successful. But I think, as we all know, billing yourself as being controversial, guaranteeing controversial statements about anything that happens, whether that be a radio station or a YouTube channel or a TV channel or a newspaper. If you promise to be controversial all the time, you've got to deliver on that. And I'm sure it does get hits and it is a success, but it does mean you have to say some outlandish things a lot of the time that, and again, because it's opinion, it can be anything. Carl Froch thinks the world is flat. He's got all the proof for that. He thinks Anthony Joshua is rubbish and a coward and no good anymore and should retire. And he doesn't like John Fury and he wants to fight John Fury and he thinks it would be a big success. So I understand why he's doing this stuff. When Anthony Joshua has got a fight coming around, quite rightly, because of everything Carl achieved as a boxer, people go for his opinion. If he was to offer me his opinion, I would gladly take it. He obviously has such a deep basis with Team GB, so I would know all about AJ's career there. I'm working with his former trainer, the trainer that they shared, Rob McCracken. But essentially, I just think that now he is a freelance YouTuber. He needs to get his hits up and he needs to get his sales up. And that means saying things at the right time to get as many hits as you can. So with Tyson Fury and Usyk being huge news, being back-page news, Carl has chimed in at the perfect time with a series of statements. And you have to respect his opinion on boxing, not so much the shape of the globe. And John Fury's not happy about that. And John's got every right to hit back. I just find these back and forth YouTube channels, let's have a fight. Go through the list of how many people John Fury was supposed to fight with. Annoyingly for boxing, there are loads of good fights that have happened really recently. There is a great fight happening on Saturday night at the Copper Box with Liam Williams and Hamza Shiraz. And people are going to talk about a silly one that isn't going to happen instead. So it's annoying and frustrating. But as a member of the tabloid media, I understand why we're talking about it. And I just think it's a fun thing that people like to look at rather than, if they sold tickets for it tomorrow, they're both doing it for money and attention. They're going to ask silly money and no one will turn up, to be honest.
I'm a machine! Me! Thanking anybody! question who I am here. If I say, come on, come and get it done.
Look at the cards that Misfits put on outside of KSI, who I think, does he own the company or certainly owns part of the company? Misfits don't have the millions of pounds that Carl Froch would rightly deserve coming out and boxing for. Don't get me wrong, he wouldn't have to train or do a camp or lose any weight. The man's an absolute machine and a credit to himself. But yeah, there isn't enough money in the world. The only place that would have enough money in the world for it is Saudi Arabia. And as Turki Al-Sheikh, the man behind all of this stuff, said the other day, he does not like influencer boxing. He's not interested in it. And rightly or wrongly, Saudi Arabia now essentially is the barometer and the benchmark for boxing. So when he says we don't like it, I think the broadcasters, the promoters, they will look and think, well, if he don't like it and we all want to be part of his shows, we don't like it either. No, good luck to John Fury. I just think that, yeah, it's a shame people perhaps don't take the time. They're looking for entertainment. And John Fury has got lots of very measured, intelligent things to say about the life and times of his sons, which I and all the other boxing reporters have written on as much as we can. However, he's clearly sussed that the crazier a statement he makes, the more hits he gets. And he even works with companies now who, he'll put on their hat, say something outrageous on video, and they'll pay him, and they'll get some popularity. So I just don't think anyone should take too much notice of it. It pops up in a few silly WhatsApp groups, memes and GIFs and what have you. Good luck to John Fury. But I think this is about the 26th potential opponent that he's supposed to have boxed recently, going back. Was there a guy called Theo for a little while? And he's Mike Tyson. He's going to box Mike Tyson a couple of times. So yeah, Carl Froch is this week's one. Who knows who it will be next week? Probably me after this video, but I'm sure he's got far bigger fish to fry.